Yo, what it do, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube, and welcome back to our explosive series on Rocket Arena. Now, I wanted to put this together for new players who are maybe trying to figure out which hero may fit their playstyle the best, since we did talk a general overview of the game itself in the last episode, and we do tend to play a good amount of Rocket Arena over on our Twitch channel where we stream 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. Link for that will be down in the description below. Feel free to click on over there, hit that follow button, and of course turn those notifications on. Now look, two things to keep in mind. One, this is going to be from the perspective of somebody who plays on console. I do aim with my thumb, so my opinions may be different than those of the quote-unquote master race PC folks out there. But this really is based on my own opinions to begin with, which brings us to point 2. It's my opinion, homie. I'm not claiming that all the following things are indeed fact, but I put in my fair share of hours during the initial release, and have played my share of games as well, so I think that can help bring some insight for new players. If you don't like it, feel free to tell me down below why, and we can talk about it. Now, if you've played other class-based shooters like Overwatch or Paladins, I figured I could make some comparisons to maybe give you some ideas. Now, you really only have one true tank or frontline in essence of a normal class-based classification, and that is Blastbeard. He is rather slow comparatively, but he packs one heck of a punch. His Shockwave has a nice AoE blast radius, dealing damage to anyone around him, which is super nice during Mega Rocket, and his charged anchor hits like a Mike Tyson punch back in the 80s. He is kind of slow though, so that is like the main trade-off, but in my opinion, his base kit is really easy to understand. He can be a force to be reckoned with on Mega Rocket, like I said though, when it comes to locking down the objective. Now, this is where I get to start saying stuff that's kind of controversial and is going to get people all up in their feelings. I do think that Kairi is low-key the other class type of champion in the game. Her Snow Globe allows her to lock down a point, great for Mega Rocket. She does this by slowing incoming projectiles, making it easier for her to naturally evade those shots without using her dodge. Charged blast shots coming from inside the Snow Globe are also faster and hit harder, so she can really do some damage. Her grappling hook does give her some of the best mobility in the game when it comes to repositioning and getting out of sticky situations. Definitely a force to be reckoned with when it's in the right hands. Now, Jado is basically a classic point and shoot type of player. He has a swarm of mini rockets using his left trigger that allows for a little better burst damage when used correctly, and his thruster suitability does give him a boost in mobility. I would say he's a good character to use when starting off to get the basics of the game down, but I think he has a rather low ceiling if we are being perfectly honest. And if we're being fair and honest about low ceilings, let's talk about Mystine for a second. Now, I know my homie Saints isn't going to be happy when he watches this and hears it. I gotta be perfectly honest. She's like C tier at best. She can be decent in the right hands with someone who really knows how to aim, but her kit can honestly use some work. Her shield is cool and all when it comes to helping prevent damage, but at the same time, she isn't exactly doing any damage either. In a game where this is really about having to fill up a damage meter, it doesn't help much in that sense. Add that with her Phantasm, where, yeah, she materializes a Mystine double that can confuse newer players. The double doesn't do any damage, so her movement ability in a sense doesn't give you any ability to help any in that category, nor do you have any control over it, kind of like Kairi's hook like we've already talked about. Her base kit just seems the weakest of the 10 champions overall. But now let's get to the fun damage champions. Boone is basically a sniper that shoots rockets, which in the right hands can definitely be super deadly. Now, if you've been through the channel over on Twitch in the past, you know that we absolutely love to have a sniper in our hands. He doesn't exactly get a scope like your stereotypical sniper, which, if we are being completely honest, I think something like that needs to be added. I still think he can be a very viable player in Knockout and Mega Rocket, but his lack of movement really holds him back from really being a super strong option for games like Rocket Ball or Treasure Hunt. Now, Top Notch is my boy. Admittedly, he doesn't have as much at his disposal as far as mobility, other than the fact that his basic rocket boost, which replaces his jump. So you really have to be careful with your positioning, because once he is in the air, you are basically a target in the early levels of Duck Hunt. But between the Zephyr Strike and your Artillery Salute, you can not only pack a punch, but you can control the map pretty easily too. I would say that Rocket Ball is probably his weakest game mode, although his ability to control the map in certain portions of it can definitely come in clutch. While some might think that he's also a weak option for Treasure Hunt, similar to Boone because of his lack of movement speed. Where he does lack in speed, he's able to get to portions of the map to collect coins that other players on the map just can't do during the collection phase. But now that we've talked about some of the damage champions, let's talk about some of the most mobile champions in the game. Let's start with Plink. Plink. Look, he's one of the champions that when you see him on the other team, he is either going to be the easiest to knock out in the lobby, or in most cases, he's going to be the biggest pain in your rear. And there really is no in between. His boomerang has a really fast cooldown, which helps make up for the lack of damage that can be seen with his scrap rockets. And the skedaddle ball not only gives him good mobility, but does an AoE damage where he teleports. Definitely seems like the strongest Plinks you run into are all over on PC because of the difference in ability to track on mouse and keyboard versus aiming with your frickin' thumbs. Now, Ezreal does have some good movement with her Jaqua charge that can not only be used to get out of sticky situations, but also allows her to insert herself into some fights as well. When landing her Bola Snare, it also allows her next rocket to not only hone in towards the targeted player, but also buffs the damage as well. I think you really need to tinker with her artifacts to your playstyle in order to really make her like an A or S tier option. Her base kit is actually rather balanced though. By the way, we will do a video in the near future on artifacts and understanding how to customize them to their playstyle. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure those notifications are on for when we drop that video. Now, Rev is probably the champion that needs the most addressing before Season 1 starts, in my opinion. Her speed is really unmatched when it comes to Rocket Arena and Treasure Hunt, and can make her really hard to track when playing against her. And that's before you even use her Shatter Slam, which, like Ezreal's Jaqua charge, can help Rev insert herself into some fights along with doing some damage. She can also get herself out of some hairy situations in a hurry, but with a lot more range and mobility comparatively. Her mag mines can also lead to some good burst damage combos for those with good aim, and her fast fire rate of her basic attack can make her extremely annoying. Like Plink, more so against PC players versus console players because we aim with our frickin' thumbs. Don't be surprised to see her get a rework before Season 1 though, to be completely fair. Now, last but definitely not least is Amphora. If you watched the Twitch Rival tournament on launch day, you saw Abuga doing all sorts of work with the Huntress of the Ocean. She has some good maneuverability and speed with her Hydro form, which also allows her to not only reposition herself, but lift up anyone who happens to be caught above her when she activates her Water Cyclone. Her bounty mines hone in with the left trigger, and her charge torpedo gives you options to fire faster to add combos quicker on players close to being knocked out, or charge up her torpedo to deal more damage that is good leading into battle. Honestly, if there is a player that I had to put as an S tier all the way around on both console and PC, it'd be her. Yes, even if you aim with your frickin' thumbs. I do think they need to rework her Hydro form though. Currently it essentially gives her a second health state, and really wouldn't be surprised if it does get that rework before Season 1. That would probably be the only thing that I would address currently. I know we've seen some great Amphoras out there, but let's not let the great players make us over-evaluate the base kit of any champion. I do definitely recommend spending some time with all the champions when you're getting started, just to see which is your favorite and which one suits your playing style the most. But I do hope that this at least gives you a good indication as far as who are some good champions to start with. Please feel free to leave some feedback in the comment below, good, bad, or, well, otherwise. And please keep in mind that basically all of this is based on my assessment of the game, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. If you've made it this far, please do me a favor, leave a like and a comment below, and of course subscribe to the channel as well, because we will be putting out weekly Rocket Arena content. And of course, again, don't forget that you can always catch us over on Twitch, where we stream 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, including a good amount of Rocket Arena as well. If you have anything that you would like to see us discuss in some upcoming videos, please feel free to leave that down below as well. Otherwise, stay safe, feel free to be competitive, but most importantly, be a good sport and have fun. Catch you cuties later, and catch you all in the next one. Peace.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be as fresh as see you.